Hey, what is up, everybody? This is your boy AJTRIP, and welcome to AJTRIP's movie reviews. This one is Supergirl. It came out today. Started out last night in a lot of places, including here in Chicago. But I saw it this afternoon. Just got back up. It's been about the next, last 20 minutes or so coming down from it. So let's talk about it. By the way, spoiler alert. This will be spoilers. I do a spoiler review. So, I thought this movie was fine. Yes, I thought it was fine. I thought it was a little bit more above average. You know, them with the dog again. I don't know if this movie was written. Excuse me. I don't know if this movie was written before Superman came out. We saw Superman last year, so it probably wasn't. But I think they may have done some rewrites, or they're just so goddamn obsessed with this fucking dog that they decided to make this movie about the dog too. The dog in the Superman movie was the unexpected star of the movie. Everywhere the fucking dog went, and then this one, the dog, he's the plot twist because the dog gets shot by one of the bad guys, major bad guys of the film. I can't remember his name. And it's poisoned, so Supergirl has to go with this other girl who, the bad guy who shoots the dog also killed her parents and her brother, killed her family. So they have to go off and then to find him so that she can get the antidote for crypto, and that so then the little girl can get the revenge, for killing her family. And there's a whole bunch of twists and turns. As we know from the end of the Superman movie, she's a bit of a lush. She goes to a planet that has the red sun, so that she doesn't have her powers on it. So that she can get drunk, and that's basically what she's apparently been doing for the longest time. Has been getting drunk and getting wasted, and especially this week it's her birthday, so she's definitely extremely wasted and drunk. She's drunk she's at a bar when the kid comes in, wanting to find somebody to help her, take it and help her get revenge. Some guy at the bar takes the little kid's sword, who is the last sword that her father made. So then Supergirl she goes out and she kicks the guy's ass and gets the sword back for her, and then she goes. So it's all that stuff, right? So on this trip they encounter several different ways of doing it. They encounter a family who's been taken away because the bad guy resides on a planet where they take women and the girls to be their brides and bear their children. So there's that. That's for a superhero movie that's kind of dark, but that's okay. He's a bad guy. And so then they come across a guy who's played by Jason Momoa. Now, in the opening credits, it says Jason Momoa. So I'm thinking, oh, okay, Jason Momoa. Aquaman's going to be in this movie. Forgetting that they've redone the entire the entire DCEU. So Jason Momoa he's not Aquaman in this thing. He's playing some far out creep that at one point down the line helps both this little girl and Supergirl. But so yeah, they come across him. They come across this black couple who had her daughter taken away, and the only way to get her daughter back was to try to give them Supergirl and this other girl, right? Give them to her. It poisons Supergirl, and she said the only way to do it is to drink milk because it coats the stomach with Supergirl. And they asked what milk it is. It's some kind of alien milk that is like a fucking alien turtle that was there. So and it takes her a while, and she throws up and gets it out of the system, and then she's able to fight back again because she goes to a planet that is in at least around our solar system where she can see the yellow sun and get her powers. So they do all of that, and they go back to this other place, and they're trying to save all of the young girls and women from them, and they do. And then there's conflict between Kara and this little girl because Kara she's very sarcastic and things like that. I guess it's because what the past is made like that. We do get a flashback of them leaving Krypton but going to Argo, which was according to the Supergirl TV show. Argo was a planet that was created to house the Kryptonians after Krypton disappeared. But and that's how it is like in this movie. However, in this one, they have gotten this Argo planet is ripe with kryptonite, and is making everybody sick, including her mother and her father, who finally, when she's like a teenager, decides to send her off, to Earth as well, and find out, and that's one of the things that I kind of didn't get, because she kind of says that, because look at asking the questions like how old, the age difference is between, your cousin and you, and she says about 10 years, and so, but they almost made it seem like that 10 years didn't pass. They almost made it seem like 10 years didn't pass, because when Kal-El was sent to Earth, she wasn't even born yet. She wasn't even thought of. They had went to Argo, and she'd been born there. So by the time she comes to Earth, she's again, like I said, like a teenager, and Kal-El's already been Superman, and he's got his fortress, and he's just already a god. So some really strange stuff there. But listen, I love everything about Smallville. So yeah, for me I love that. I love the fact that Kara was sent exactly at the same time as Clark. Except she got caught in suspended animation somehow for 17, 18 years. Because she's older. She's actually the older cousin. So I'm not sure about this one. This one kind of, but maybe this is more of the true lineage of Supergirl. Is that that is how the original story was made. So maybe they're sticking to that, which is totally fine. But it just kind of felt kind of off. It didn't feel like that she would have been there for more than 13 years or whatever. But that's neither here nor there. So the girl and Supergirl have a fight. She says that she doesn't she doesn't want to be like her, bitter and mean and things like that. So they kind of fight. They go their separate ways, it seems. She's trying to find the guy because he has the antidote for her dog, for Crypto. And the brigands, I think they were calling them the brigands. They kind of trick her and say that they'll take her to where he's at. But they take her to a planet which I guess is a kryptonite planet, or the sun is kryptonite, whatever it is. But as soon as she gets there, she starts coughing and wheezing, and it's green. It says on the thing, and they give you like, prompts. When they go from place to place, this is a place that is part of a yellow sun. This is a place for the red sun. The place they went to last is a green and yellow sun. So there's green. I guess there's a green sun half of the day, and then there's a yellow sun the other half of the day. And they went to town with a green sun, and she was out of it. Now the little girl did stow away, and she took her to a cave and tried to get her help with some water, but she got kidnapped, and when she was looking at it, she was over there, and it was Jason Momoa's character. He was kidnapped as well. So it was all of that. They did a great thing where they was able to sneak out of there. They choked the thing with the guard and everything like that. So they snuck out, and then the sun came up, and then the sun comes up. Supergirl gets the thing, and when she was on the ship, because she was on the ship, that was actually Supergirl's original ship. So when they were on that ship, the little girl grabbed her suit, and so she put on the suit, and then you see her at the end of the big battle suit. The bad guy, he's got kryptonite arrows on his quiver, almost like Black Widow. Those things, and he's able to do that. And it's a big fight. Jason Momoa's character helps. And there's a whole bunch of other stuff. And then Supergirl kicks ass as she should. And they get to a point to where the bad guy has been beaten by Supergirl, and the little girl comes up there with her sword and tries to cut. And Supergirl talks the little girl out of killing him. And she does, so she moves on. Now, I immediately knew that Supergirl was gonna kill her. Again, going back to Smallville, I have two favorite lines from Smallville. One by Jonathan Kent, when Jor-El tells Clark to kill the host that's going to host Zod, and Clark is talking to Lionel. Lionel tells him, for the greater good, you have to do sometimes you have to do a great evil for the greater good. I love that. I think that's absolutely true. Sometimes you have to do a great evil for the greater good. Another one that's nothing to do with this, but just to let you know, one of my other ones is that it's in it's in season 9 or 10. I think it's in season 10. Clark is talking to Oliver, and I think this is when Chloe is gone away, and Oliver and Chloe are getting together. Chloe's gone away off on her fancy business or whatever. He says, life without love isn't living, it's existing. And I love that. Yeah. So, I think that's a good one too. Anyway, back to this. Supergirl goes up to him, and she starts talking. You think that she's going to do, and she immediately sticks it in this thing, in his stomach. She says, "That's from a dog." She takes it out, sticks the sword in his heart, and that's for that little girl. And that's the great evil for the greater good. She did the great evil she did was taking a life, but the greater good was so that the image. That's what they kept talking about. That's what she kept telling that girl. Have that on your conscience. That you took a life. You took a person's life. That's going to be on your conscience for the rest of your life. And you don't need that. Or you will end up turning bitter and drinking and all that other stuff. That was kind of the moral. So she did that so that little girl didn't have to. Incredible. And at the end, the antidote kills the dog. Crypto's off. Crypto, yada yada yada. They kind of go off, and I guess they really, like they said they were gonna go their separate ways, but then she took a She took her on the ship with her, and I guess they went to Earth and had some fun. Yada yada yada. The end is him. Is her walking in to, I guess, Clark's apartment. Um, and they have a conversation about, this, um, about Supergirl that being their home and everything like that, and dog is going crazy and he's eating chocolate, which you can't give a dog, you can't give a cat chocolate. Can't give them grapes either. Their bodies can't digest it. They can't. Systems can't handle it. They will die. Don't, please, out there, do not give dogs and cats chocolates or grapes. It just doesn't work. Please. So that was the entire movie. There was no mid or post credit scene. That's just the movie. I'm trying to. I'll say this. There's a part of me that is trying to keep a level head when it comes to these movies, because I don't want to overshoot my skis. But then I also wonder if that is like, taking away my enjoyment. If I can't just, sit back and enjoy the movie. Because I know I'm going to do these reviews, and I know that I like things more than most. If you go back and look at my reviews, I don't think I gave any movie I reviewed a bad review. I've pretty much liked it. Like, all of them, right? Any movie that I've given a review of, I've pretty much liked. I think the one that I didn't like was the Naked Gun one. And even in that one, I said it wasn't funny, but it was entertaining, so I gave it 3 stars. So I'm trying to keep a level head about it, something like that. It also may be best because, the MCU has given me more excitement than the DCU has. I love the DCU TV shows, love those. And I was okay. I liked the Justice League movie. I think I like Wonder Woman too. Wonder Woman was really, really good. I think I saw Wonder Woman in theaters as well. But I'm kind of more of an MCU guy, so it's really a strange feeling here. But I do think I'm gonna say that I thought it was entertaining. I thought it's about 2 hours, so I don't think it overstayed its welcome. I don't think anything was bad or terrible. There was a good storyline. I think maybe it's just me not necessarily knowing the true lineage of Supergirl. So, and I just, there wasn't no, like, the bad guy. I don't even remember the bad guy's name. I think it was like Krim or something like that. Krim. Like, is that a Supergirl DCU major villain? So I didn't have any akin to that guy. But I was entertained. I thought it was a pretty good story. So that's what I'm just gonna give it 3.5 stars. I'm gonna give it 3.5 stars, and yeah. So that's it. Post your comments down below to me what you guys think, and what you give the movie. If you saw it, what you think about my review and everything like that. So next month, July 31st, is it? Yeah, July 31st. Spider-Man. Now I am really excited with Spider-Man coming out to the trailers I have seen and something like that. So I am really excited for this one. So my Spider-Man review may be a lot more. It may be a lot more level-headed, a lot less level-headed than this one. But yeah, I can't wait. That should be the next one. But then of course we've got later on in the year Street Fighter, and then we've got Avengers the something. The Doomsday, Avengers Doomsday, I think is in December. It's kind of interesting that they're decided to do the Avengers movie in December. Are they looking for this to be an Oscar movie or something like that? So I don't know, but those should be the next movie things in case something else comes out that I don't know about. But so yeah, Spider-Man, Street Fighter, and Avengers Doomsday. Alright guys, thank you guys so much for watching. This is your boy AJTRIP signing off. As always, be good to each other, y'all. Be careful out there. And I am out.